Hello everyone, and welcome back to LMX. Today we're taking a hard look at one of the most urgent issues facing our country, unemployment. With official rates hovering around 32% in recent reports, South Africa is in the midst of what many would call a national disaster. In the next several minutes we'll dive into the factors driving this crisis, compare our unemployment figures with those of major global economies, explore whether government policies or a lack of investor confidence are at the root of the problem, and discuss potential solutions. South Africa's unemployment rate is one of the highest in the world. Recent data from Statistics South Africa shows our official rate is about 32.1% in the third quarter of 2024. With some figures even suggesting it's edging closer to 32.5% in certain regions. In comparison, advanced economies like the United States and the United Kingdom report rates around 4%, while Germany is at roughly 3.5%. This isn't a small gap, it's a stark reminder that we're dealing with a crisis that affects millions of South Africans every single day. To understand how we got here, we need to look at history and structure. The roots of our unemployment problem stretch back to the apartheid era, which left a deeply divided economy. The lingering effects of those policies mean that large segments of the population, particularly Black South Africans, face disproportionately high unemployment rates. Coupled with this are serious structural challenges: skills mismatch. Our education and training systems have not kept pace with the demands of a modern economy. Many job seekers simply do not have the skills that industries now require. Inadequate infrastructure and energy crisis, persistent power shortages and outdated infrastructure have stymied industrial growth, limiting job creation. Policy and governance issues, inefficient government policies and widespread corruption have further eroded investor confidence and stunted economic growth. Let's break these factors down further. Historical inequality. The apartheid legacy left an uneven playing field. Even today, unemployment among Black South Africans is significantly higher than among other groups, a gap that has only widened over the past decades. Skills and education. A misalignment between the skills of the workforce and what industries demand is a major hurdle. This skills mismatch prevents many capable individuals from securing jobs in emerging sectors. Government policies, some labor laws and rigid regulations, while intended to protect workers, have inadvertently slowed job creation. High wage demands, bolstered by powerful trade unions, also contribute to employers' hesitance to hire. Investor confidence, uncertainty over policy direction, corruption, and infrastructure failures, especially the ongoing energy crisis, make investors wary. Without adequate investment, industries can't expand, and jobs are not created. When nearly 1 in 3 working-age South Africans is without a job, the social and economic consequences are catastrophic. High unemployment fuels poverty, crime, and social unrest, and it undermines our country's overall economic stability. Many experts argue that unless we formally declare unemployment a national disaster, we won't muster the urgency needed for radical reform. It's time for policymakers to treat this crisis with the severity it demands. Let's put these numbers into an international perspective. In the United States and the United Kingdom, unemployment rates typically hover around 4%. Germany's robust apprenticeship programs and industrial base keep its rate as low as 3.5%. Within the G20, South Africa consistently reports the highest unemployment, often exceeding 33%, a figure that stands in sharp contrast to the rest of the group. These differences show that while advanced economies have managed to maintain natural unemployment levels of around 4 to 5%, our economy is trapped in a cycle of deep structural issues that push our rate into crisis territory. Now, which is the main culprit? Is it poor government policies or a lack of investor confidence, or perhaps both? On one hand, our government's policies have been more reactive than proactive. While social grants provide a critical safety net, they are not a substitute for job creation. Labor regulations and sometimes excessive wage demands may be disincentivizing employers from hiring. On the other hand, the political uncertainty, corruption, and chronic infrastructure failures have sapped investor confidence. Without steady investment, the engines of job creation stall. The reality is that these two issues feed off each other, creating a vicious cycle that deepens unemployment. So what can be done? Here are several strategies that could help break this cycle. 1. Comprehensive policy reform. Streamline labor laws to balance worker protection with job creation. Cutting red tape and increasing transparency would go a long way toward rebuilding trust. 2. Invest in education and training. Align our education system with market needs to reduce the skills gap. More vocational training and partnerships with industries can help equip young people for the jobs of tomorrow. 3. Boost infrastructure and energy reliability. Prioritize investments in infrastructure, especially in solving the energy crisis, to create an environment conducive to industrial growth and attract investment. 4. Strengthen governance and fight corruption. Improving the efficiency of state-owned enterprises and rooting out corruption would enhance investor confidence. 5. Encourage entrepreneurship. Support small and medium enterprises through better access to credit and business-friendly policies to drive grassroots job creation. And 6. Special economic zones. Developing zones with favorable policies could stimulate localized growth and provide a testing ground for broader reforms. In advanced economies, economists often cite a natural rate of unemployment, typically around 4 to 5%, which reflects frictional and structural job transitions. For South Africa, this ideal benchmark is far from our current reality. Even a target of 10 to 15% would mark a dramatic improvement. Ultimately though, our long-term goal should be to come as close as possible to that natural rate. Achieving this will demand transformative structural reforms and sustained investment in our human and physical capital. To wrap up, South Africa's unemployment crisis is not a fleeting issue. It's a multifaceted disaster rooted in historical inequality, structural challenges, and policy failures. Our rate of around 32% is not just a number, it represents millions of lives affected by poverty, crime, and social unrest. When we compare our situation to major economies with natural rates around 4 to 5%, the disparity is stark. Declaring unemployment a national disaster might just be the wake-up call we need. Whether it's reforming policies, boosting investor confidence, or investing in our future workforce, we must act decisively and comprehensively to change this trajectory. Thank you for watching. If you found this analysis insightful, please like the video, leave your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe to LMX for more in-depth discussions on critical issues affecting our society. Stay informed, and together let's push for a brighter future for South Africa.